Hey guys, how are we doing? Welcome to a Talking Points here on Buzzing Pattaya. And to today's discussion, I'm really looking forward to this one because the beauty of what we got here, the community that we have, we're full of so many experienced travelers. People have been coming here time after time after time. And I know that you guys will be able to share that information and help others maybe potentially avoid making a mistake or actually benefit from your experience and enjoy a really nice stay. So the topic of today is hotels. Where should you stay? Why should you stay there? And what will you get out of your stay? And it's a really good, it's quite an in-depth topic to be honest. I get asked a lot of times, Trev, where would you recommend to stay? But the truth of the matter is, guys, as you know, I don't really stay in hotels. I live here. So it's very difficult for me to give you an honest, personal experience to say, well, I've stayed here, go there. Because the reality of it is I don't really use hotels. I have stayed in some, but not very often. Whereas you guys that come out here, obviously most of you are all staying in hotels. I know some of you will stay in long-term condos and houses and stuff, but I thought, well, let's throw this back out. Let's start thinking about what is involved in booking a hotel. And you might think, well, that's easy, Trev. I just go on the internet, book it, job done. But if you've never been here before, there are some serious, and I really do mean serious pitfalls that are presented that maybe you overlook. So, in true tradition, what I'll do is I'm going to put some overlays over the top of what I'm talking about. Please disregard the videos, guys. They're not necessarily the most recent. They're just videos that I've got of the good old days now, all the changes. It's just random footage, guys. So please don't think, oh, well, that's gone now. It's just literally just a step over rather than looking at that. So, no further ado, let's get that going. All right, so the first question is, and I think it's a really important one, is you need to decide your location. And before you decide where you stay, I think you need to be honest with yourself and understand what you're looking for. And by that, what I mean is, do you want to be in the very, very heart of all of the action? Do you want to be right in the mix of it? And, when you are, bear in mind there's a lot of things to take into account on that. Things such as like the noise levels, about the traffic, about the amount of people, about late night parties, all those kind of things? Or would you rather step away a little bit and be close enough to be able to come in and enjoy yourself, but far enough away that it doesn't matter? Excuse me. So there are basically 5 areas that I think you should consider. And depending on what you're looking for, here are the 5 areas. The first one is naturally the city centre, the Pattaya city centre. And that mainly consists of soy bacau, soy Diana, soy lenki, soy honey, possibly along Second Road. There's quite a few soys off of Second Road, like soy 21, soy 19 and bacau. Beach Road area, there's some hotels down there. And of course you've got Walking Street. And if you just go onto any Google map and just put in any of those names, it will show you roughly where you are in relation to the city. And these are very good, particularly if you're just going to walk around. You're fairly accessible to almost everything off foot, by foot. You don't need to use any transport. You can pretty much tab around the whole city. And the nice thing about being in the center of the city and of course walking around is naturally the knock-on effect of that is you're going to explore places that perhaps if you just used taxi services or cars or whatever, you may not discover. So it does have a bonus to it. But of course, the other side of the coin is if you are walking around everywhere, remember that the conditions of the pavements here. Sounds daft, I know, but I know so many guys that have broken their ankles, sprained their ankles on the uneven pavement. If you're walking around 24/7, okay, during the normal days, probably not a problem. But if you've had a few sherbets and you're heading back home, maybe you're not quite as aware of the footing that you're walking along the pavement, and that could end up hurting you. And I don't want that to happen. But predominantly, right in the city centre, that is in the heart and the mix of all the action. You've got Jomtien. Jomtien, in my opinion, is a great place because you're literally a BART bus route away. You're talking 10 baht, 20 baht maximum to take you into the city. Jomtien has its own nightlife. There's a lot of soys down there where it's good fun. It's a lot more chilled out. It's not like the Agogos you're going to expect in Walking Street, although there is Viper Agogo, which is on the corner as you head down towards Beach Road. But the point being with Jomtien in my opinion, is a nice, far more relaxed environment. It's got a bit to offer. You've got Rompo Market area. There are things there. There's a lot of gents clubs in the area. But you're close enough that if you want to, you can hop on a BART bus and within 15 minutes you're into the city centre. In terms of transportation, you're going to need transportation. You've got to use a BART bus, you've got to use Bolt, or you're going to have to use a motorbike taxi. You can't really walk around. You can walk around the beach area like Soi 3 up to Soi 7, that's not a problem, and you know, Soi White House and stuff like that. But if you want to really explore, probably are the chances you're going to need a motorbike, in my opinion. Now, if you head up north, you've got what they call East Pattaya, the dark side. Truthfully, if you're here for a 2-week holiday, I would say it's probably not for you, simply because there is a tiny amount in comparison to the city centre of entertainment over there. There are a few gents clubs, but it's so spread about. You're going to have to know where you're going. You're going to have transport. You must be using motorbike taxis or Bolt. And you're fairly isolated. You can get yourself a nice place. I mean, there's a lot of houses for rent there. We don't have so many condos on the east side of Pattaya, but there's definitely a lot of houses, a lot of hotels. So it might be something you want to consider. But in all fairness, getting around is going to be a tough shout for you. But on the other side of the coin, it is considerably cheaper than if you was to go into Walking Street or into LK Metro. You've got Naklua, which is at the far north of the city. That's mainly for like North Europe, Northern Europeans, Sweden, Norway, all around there, Denmark, Germany. You're going to need a BART bus, and you'll definitely need a taxi to get yourself back into the city centre. There's a lot of hotels up there. There are a lot of hotels. If you go into Naklua around by the Sanctuary of Truth and around that area, there's some really high-end, really very, very nice hotels. So it's not that you don't have the options, it's just transportation. And of course, we've got Pratumnak. Pratumnak is mainly where the Russians and the Westerners are. Pratumnak is more aimed at villas. It's more aimed at condominiums. Not really. I mean, there are a few hotels there, but not really what jump out and bite you on the arse. There's more villas and more condos. But again, you're definitely going to need a transportation of some description, be it Bolt or a motorbike taxi. So you need to give your location a lot of thought. You know, do you want to be right in the mix, or are you happy to just come in and out at your pleasure? Or are you thinking, nope, I want to be way, way away from it, and I'm just happy to come in 1 or 2 times during the duration of my holiday? What do you think, guys? You know, when it's your turn to put pen to paper and you're going to book your flights, where do you stay and why? That's the difference. Why do you stay there? It's all well and good saying, yeah, I stay in Naklua, but can I ask the reason why? Share your experiences, guys. That's what makes this channel so wonderful. Budget. So I can take you to hotels here that are less than 500 baht a night. I can also take you to hotels here that are over 50, 60,000 baht a night. I think what you've got to do firstly is you've got to be true to yourself. And by that, what I mean is this. There's no point spending a lot of money on a hotel if you're literally a kind of a shit, shower and shave kind of guy and you want to go out and just spend the whole day out partying, enjoying yourself, sitting on the beach. Why would you want to have such an expensive hotel to go back to if you're very rarely in it, other than just to sleep and shower? Likewise, if you are going to spend a lot of time, you don't like going around the city during the daytime, you're not really going to go off and explore, but you're looking for a hotel with amenities, well then do your homework, guys. Do your homework. We've got some incredibly good hotels here that are well within budgets. They're not super expensive, but they offer so much in terms of recreational activities. They'll have in-house massages, they'll have swimming pools, saunas, you know, the gymnasiums, rooftop restaurants. There are so many things here. So if you are looking at sort of staying put for a majority of the day before you head out, then again, you really need to focus on that and think to yourself, well, what do I want? Because there's nothing worse than staying in a hotel that you thought was a good idea that turns out to not be so good, and it really does come back and bite you on the backside. So the things you want to consider in your hotel, the amenities. Does it have a swimming pool? What size is the swimming pool? It's all well and good having a pool, but if it's the size of a postage stamp, well, it ain't much fun, is it? So how big is the pool? Do they offer you breakfast? What type of breakfast? You've got to be very, very careful. If you get a continental breakfast, you've got half a chance. If you get the breakfast here, that's a Thai breakfast, it's a horrible sausage, a cold egg, a strip of ham, and you might get a bit of toast if you're lucky. And that's not really what you want to start your day off with. So take some time to investigate. Look at what type of breakfast they offer. Try and get a copy of their menu. How big is your room? Again, you know, it's another thing to really consider, because if you're going to stay in a hotel for, say, 2 or 3 weeks, do you want to be in a pigeon coop, or would you rather have a bit of space? Maybe you want a sofa. Maybe you need a little desk that you could work from. Perhaps you've got to connect with work back home while you're on your holiday. All those kind of things. Build them into the picture of what you're looking for in terms of your room. Does your room have a balcony? And, you know, I've been here a long time. I walk around, I see some hotels, and the balcony, you'd be lucky if you could fit your washing machine on it. It really is very, very small. So is that really a balcony, or is that just an add-on that they call a balcony? To me, a balcony's got to be at least 10 metres. It's got to be a decent. You've got to have the ability to maybe put a sunbed out there and have a bit of space and chill out and relax. And what view is your balcony? You know, are you looking at another wall? Are you looking at the swimming pool, in which case you might get some good eye candy? Are you facing into the street? Are you going to get issues with noise, with cars passing by? All those kind of things you need to just bear in mind. The bed. How big is the bed? I know it sounds daft, but there are about 6 different options here in sizes of beds. What they call a king size bed here can quite often and quite normally become just what would be a glorified single bed. Likewise, you can have master bedrooms where they've got a bed that, you know, you get 4 or 5 friends on. Happy days, fair play, that's a decent one for you. But the point being is, check it out. You know, what size bed do they offer? Do they have a shower? Is it a walk-in shower? Or some people have a bath stroke shower, meaning you've got to climb into a bath in order to have your shower, rather than just a straightforward walk-in shower. These are the little things that maybe on booking you don't really care about, but when it actually comes down to your holiday, it starts to annoy you. And the last thing that you want is your accommodation to be a negative while you're trying to have a great time. If you are here and you've got to connect with work and you've got to bring a laptop with you, you know, does it have a desk in the condo or the hotel? Does it have a small table that you can work from? You know, these are little things that you need to take into account, because if you are trying to do some complex work because you're here on holiday but you've got to keep up with your businesses back home, the last thing you want to do is have a laptop on your knees on your bed trying to work, when really you need to put some papers out, put your computer up and do your thing. The fridge. Now you might be thinking, what is he going on about now? But you'll be surprised, guys. As I say, I don't normally stay in hotels, but I've been in hotels where the fridge is a little tiny minibar fridge. I mean, you can't put nothing in it. Likewise, if you're going to be here for 2 or 3 weeks, you might want to stock a fridge up, in which case, how big is the fridge? Does it have room for loads of bottles of water? Does it have room for your milk? Does it have room for like some yogurts or, you know, some snacks? Does it have room for ice? You know, all these kind of things, again, they're things you should really consider, just because it will, I know it's daft and you probably think, what is he talking about? But in all honesty, these things will annoy you. They really, really will. Air conditioning. When you look at air conditioning, just make sure that how old the building is. If it's a really old building, have they renewed the air conditioner over the last 15, 20, 30 years? Because there's nothing worse than having an air conditioner that doesn't work, or is very poor in its power, because you're going to end up melting like an ice cream, and nobody wants to do that. Also, when you're talking about the hotels, check out joiner fees. I've always said this before, guys, if you book a room for 2, generally speaking, 99.9% of the time there's no joiner fee. However, it is something that happens. Guys, if you stayed in a hotel where there is a joiner fee, please drop your comments below. Please name the hotels where you've had to pay a joiner fee, so at least other people won't make that mistake. And if you don't know what a joiner fee is, it's basically when you go out of an evening, you might find a newfound friend that wants to come back and watch TV with you. Well, for her to get past reception and go up to your room, you're going to have to pay a joiner fee. Could be as little as 300 baht, could be up to 500 baht. Some people charge 1,000 baht. So please investigate that first. And lastly, in terms of the hotel, taxis, tours, and bike rental. If you're going to use a taxi from outside the hotel, haggle, because they are going to be pushing the price because they know they've got a captive audience. I would suggest you use Bolt. Bolt's very, very good. But on the other side of the coin is, if you're using Bolt and they've got a dedicated taxi rank outside, you may struggle to get the Bolt driver to stop there, because there's a bit of a friction between those two right now, and they won't be happy with the Bolt driver just chipping up and taking their customers. So you might have to walk down the road 100 meters and then do it, but it's no big deal. Bike rentals, if you are going to rent a motorbike out here, firstly, I strongly recommend you don't, but if you do, you know, make sure your insurance covers you, make sure that the bike is in good order, take a video of the whole bike, walk around it, spend 5 minutes on a video. At least then you've covered every single aspect and every angle that could possibly go wrong on your return when you give the bike back and they say, oh, you've done that, and you go, sorry, there you go, there's the video, I didn't do that. So in terms of your hotel, getting around, you know, we spoke about it. What's within walking distance of your hotel? Is it going to provide you with that location with enough to keep you occupied, or are you going to need transport? One thing that people often overlook is the traffic direction. And I know it sounds daft, but here's this. If you're on, say, Second Road, well, the traffic only goes one way. So if your hotel is at the top of Second Road and you want to get on a bus, say, in you want to get a bus in, say, Beach Road, Well, there's no left turn, Clyde. It's going to keep going all the way up, right the way up to Walking Street, round the bend, then all the way back down again. So, you know, be prepared about one-way streets and about how you're going to get around. Is your hotel on the BART bus route? Now, if you're not sure, just Google BART bus routes Pattaya. There's plenty of maps that will come up. Basically speaking, you know, the BART buses cover Soi Buakhao. They cover all the main roads, such as Second Road, such as Beach Road, such as Third Road. You know, you're never a million miles away from a BART bus, but if you are off on some of the side sois, you may not be quite as lucky. Bolt taxi, I've already mentioned that. You can easily find a Bolt taxi. The nice thing about Bolt is download the app totally free of charge. You put in your location, I'm here, I want to go there, and it takes care of everything for you. Don't even need to speak any Thai whatsoever. It tells the driver, this guy wants to go from A to B, and you're going to charge him 50 baht or whatever it is, and that's done. Job's a good one. Motorbike taxis outside. If you do get a motorbike, haggle. Always haggle. You ask him, say, how much is it? It says 80 baht, so I'll give you 50. Haggle, because otherwise he knows, guys, you're a prime target, you're a tourist, and he's just going to double up his prices and try and get as much. I don't blame him for doing that, but likewise, I don't want you getting mugged off. So, you know, do haggle, guys, all the time. One thing to do when you are in the hotel is get yourself a business card. Make sure that you know where you're staying and where you've got to go back to. Even ask the Thai lady in reception to write it down in Thai for you in a bit of paper, stick it in your wallet in case you lose the business card, and take a photo. Take a photo of it on your phone so you can always open your phone and show the picture that she's written down, say, take me there, please. At least you're prepared and it avoids any unnecessaries. So we're near the end of the video now. The last couple here is reviews. You know, you might see a hotel on some of these websites and you think, wow, that looks amazing. Oh man, that's beautiful. But ask yourself a question: how old is the hotel? How modern is it, or is it dated? You know, go back in time, look around, see what you can find, dig it out, because you might find that whilst it does look nice on the photos, perhaps it's not quite the same when you actually arrive. And again, you know, the last thing you want to do is chip up all excited. Yeah, I got a great room. Won't believe the bargain I got. When you walk in, you're like, oh my Lord. So, you know, try and figure out, go onto these websites like Agoda, TripAdvisor, all these places, go on the forums, on the websites, on Discord, and we've got Discord here with a hotel session, and ask the question, guys, have you stayed there? If you stayed there, what was it like? What were the conditions of the rooms like? How old is the website? You know, have a look at if you're not sure, easiest way to do it is to go onto Google and search in domain name, put their domain name in, and then it will tell you when it was first registered. That domain name might be registered 20 years ago. So again, it just gives you a little bit of a tip, a little bit of an indication as to how old this building really is. And look at the photos, you know, see the photos, look for the little things in the background, you know, look for little telltale signs where maybe they've got an old TV. You think, oh, that's a bit ancient, why is that there? You know, why is it not a smart TV? Why is it an old TV? All those kind of little things. Like I say, you know, ask in forums, ask around, don't be afraid to ask. Guys, please share your knowledge down below, please share your experiences. It really does help everyone, and there's nothing better than getting, you know, forewarned, as they say. Forewarned is forearmed, and then you know what to expect. And likewise, you know, look at Facebook and social media. Have a look, see if they've got any, if they've got a dedicated Facebook page for the hotel, or a dedicated page somewhere on the media, and look for the reviews. Get people's thoughts on what it's like, rather than you build your own opinion based on a photo and a location. And lastly, booking. One of the things I have found personally, and maybe you disagree with me here, but I've found if you actually contact the hotel directly, they will actually offer you, most times, a better rate than what you were to buy if you was to use some of these agents. Remember, these agents, what they'll do is they'll buy a block of hotel rooms, and then what they'll do is they'll negotiate with the hotel, say, right, it's 1,000 baht a night, we'll hire, I don't know, say 20 rooms, but instead of giving you 20,000 baht, we'll give you 15, and then that's how they make their money. So have a look and see if you can book direct. You might find you can get yourself a bit of a saving there. What are the cancellation fees? And I say that because two things. Number one, you know, unfortunately, I've already experienced already, some people saying, Trevor, I'm coming out, can't wait, and then sadly something happens that's out of their control, and then they can't cancel the booking, or if they do cancel it, it's massive surcharges. So figure that out. Before you press that send and pay button, just figure out what are the cancellation charges and what's the options that you have available to you. Also, if you want to check out early, and I say that because this again is something that's often overlooked. Let's just say you book a hotel and you've got it here for a month, let's just say. and it's in a really bad location in terms of it's noisy at night, it's all the other things that you don't like, and you want out. And you've been walking around and you found yourself a nice little hotel further around the corner, whatever, and you think, oh, do you know what, that'd be just perfect for me. Well, figure out before you book, if I want to cut my holiday early, is there a charge? What will I lose? What will be the conditions? Get that on the table first. At least then you've got something to think about. How full is the hotel? And I'm going to kind of contradict myself now because unfortunately, like I say, these places, these big booking centres, they book a load of rooms because they know they're going to sell them later on. But have a look at how busy the rooms are. And that goes back to going to the photos and look if they got a recent photo. And is it busy? You know, is there a lot of people there? It's always a good indicator if it's busy, but likewise, you know, just try and do a bit of due diligence, try and figure out what's going on out there and see if you can find out just how full the bookings are and where they can get the bookings from. Are you going to go direct, or have you got to go to Agoda or some of these other websites? All right, so hopefully that's just giving you a bit of food for thought. I know a lot of you guys are thinking about coming over. There's a lot of experienced guys on this website that can share many stories with you and give you some reviews and some feedback. So please, you know, have a look on Discord, have a look at the comments down below, and let's share some information about good places, not so good places, places you recommend, places you wouldn't recommend, and let's see what comes back. And hopefully, if anything, this will help improve your stay when you come out here to our wonderful city of Pattaya. All right, that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please, as always, remember, hit the subscribe button and also the bell icon if you'd like to be notified when I bring out a new video. Have a look on our members area and our new website, buzzingpattaya.com. It's packed full of information. On the left-hand menu, scroll to the last icon, click on that. That will take you to the members area and shows you what I can show you over there that I can't show you over here. Get on Discord, totally free of charge, guys. There's a link in the description. Jump on Discord. It'd be great to have you over there. Like I say, we have dedicated rooms just about hotels and guest houses, so you can ask many questions and find out all the information that you need. And if you'd like to support the channel, the link to the YouTube members area is in the description below, and your support is much appreciated. That's it for me, guys. Thank you very much indeed for watching, and please, as always, wherever you are in the world, stay safe.